monkey that ever walked. He knew every magic trick under the sun to tease the gods and everyone and have some fun. Monkey magic, 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 monkey magic.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to tonight's show as we talk Monkey Magic, the classic TV series from the late 70s. Joining us tonight is my co-host Archer Colin and also our guest PJ Maybe. Welcome to the show, guys.
Hello. Although the wording you had in that, I can't remember those words. You had punkiest. I always remember it as funkiest.
Yeah, I thought it was funkiest.
That's the way they type the lyrics.
Yeah.
So there was another one was the funkiest monkey that ever rocked. He knew every magic from under the sun. He's the god of everyone who had some fun.
Monkey magic.
Yep. But yeah, even before we even started talking about doing this, and actually, I could remember that because I used to watch it all the time as I was growing up. So any chance I got to watch Monkey, so I knew that song near enough all the way through, even before I started rewatching it again. It is one of those ones that just stuck with you.
Well, I was planning on showing clips tonight, but since we can't show any, if it'd be great for the honour for you to bring up some images, that would be okay. Because due to a copyright claim from a certain Japanese company that has the rights to a certain giant lizard, we don't want to get done for that, do we?
No.
Apparently, it's so annoying that it's even annoyed the PJ's dogs.
Yes, I know. There are basically they're just actually being pains in the ass at the moment.
Oh.
So it's just typical dogs, pains.
Well, how can I put this? I will start off. I've always known about the TV series Monkey, but I never watched an episode of it until I caught it on ITVX at one time. I've only seen 2 episodes so far, but I am going to give it a try when I get the opportunity. But I know this is such a cult classic, and the dubbing on it was absolutely ridiculous.
Yes.
It was. You can't deny that. It was, but I would love to know what they were actually saying it when it was actually dubbed.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to know.
Because I just think whoever dubbed it playfully.
Yeah.
It was done for pure entertainment.
Some of the voice cast are quite well known, like David Collins was one of them, I remember, because I had it up earlier when I was looking at it. The voice dubbing cast. Miriam Margolyes is in there.
Yeah. Well, you think about it. No matter what people said, remember we were watching a female and there's a male role.
That's true.
And did anybody notice?
Yeah.
Yes.
But it just goes to show there was female, basically lead role.
Yeah. Well, it occurred to me rewatching it that one of the reasons I think they possibly put a female actor in the role is
you look young.
Yes, is because they particularly quote as the young, almost a boy priest. Now, one of these days, I really am going to get around to reading Journey to the West, which is the absolute classic that it's based on. And I mean, I don't actually know. I can't remember off the top of my head how old a religion Buddhism is, but it's certainly a very old religion. Certainly well predates Christianity. hundreds of millions of years now. I don't quite think so. I mean, some of the things they gave in that were rather,
Yeah, the comment from the Jade Emperor. When was the last time we had people over? Was it 1,049,000 years ago?
Yeah, something.
It does fly. It seems like yesterday.
Yes, yeah, they had some. But yeah, exactly. Because I don't know if he was actually if Tripitaka was actually a young boy or was a young adult. Was it a child or was it a young adult?
Yeah.
But I suspect that's one reason why they had an actress do it is because, as you say, she looks very
Right.
you know,
I'm going to just say
They always did that. They always went for someone either. You look at actors who played kids.
Yeah.
It's ones that looked young, and if they couldn't, then it was usually a
Mm.
female playing a younger boy.
Well, I hate to interrupt, but I am wearing a T-shirt tonight, which was an inspiration for this. Because in Monkey, he was called Son Goku, and what am I wearing today?
a T-shirt that says Goku on it.
Yeah, Dragon Ball. So, it just goes to show that me growing up watching Dragon Ball, I never knew it was an inspiration from the TV show and Journey to the West. But also, sorry.
Yeah. See, the thing is, even growing up, right, I understood it was the Journey to the West. Basically, I got that reference even when I was younger. But what I didn't know until I'd probably say I was in my 30s that it was the Chinese.
Good point.
It was Japanese.
Yeah, and I didn't find that until late on. Yeah, I mean, because when I was growing up, I was watching a Chinese program which was just fun.
Yeah. Well, once you, if you know a little bit about Japanese and Chinese language, you can see that the names of the actors are Japanese. Once you know that, but no, if you don't, I mean, the point, if you don't know it, because at the risk of being cancelled, Japanese and Chinese people look alike because they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like saying
no.
That's like saying us and Polish people look alike, which we do.
Yeah, but I mean, literally, Chinese and Japanese, they are, as races in inverted commas, they are
very closely associated.
Yeah, they are. I mean, they're that close. They are. There is. I mean, they're as close. I mean, it's like saying a Brit and a Pole.
Yeah.
Well, if you just look at them.
Well, anyway, shall we say hello to our chat tonight, who will be, able to ask questions and also give their, what we can bring up in the chat. So, who have we got in tonight, Colin?
Who have we got tonight? The scores on the doors, sorry. Wendy, Miranda, ladies are in first as usual.
Yep.
Then we've got Darren M, who is
Hello,
kind
Darren.
enough to repeatedly push us in the Rabbi's chat. He's one of the Rabbi's mods.
Thank you, Darren M.
And thank you, Darren. We've also got, I saw On Comics has joined us again.
Thank you.
Kelly Inch.
Welcome, folks.
And Kelly Inch is turned up. Hail Kelly. The only person that's missing is Roman, but he wouldn't understand this TV series anyway.
Well, no, this is
Well, when we were talking about it, he looked as confused as when we were talking either Scottish slang or Cockney slang. You could just see the question mark over his head.
If you've not seen it,
try to describe it as fun.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Kelly's just brought up. I've never seen it either. You're missing out, Kelly. You're really missing out. Give it a watch.
Oh, it's basically. I would love to know what they were originally saying when it was dubbed over, but it was dubbed over for fun. There was certain things you're watching and what they're talking about sort of matches, but at Disney, like they're fighting. And the fighting and the way they're talking to each other, it sort of gave two different messages. So I would have loved to have known what they were saying in the original.
Well, you've been on the Rabbi on Father Miller's channel. You'll understand why I say when I'm sure when I was watching 1 or 2 scenes and I could hear the church lady going on in my head. Like the scene, for example, where where the princess first shows Monkey the staff.
Yep.
Yes.
My God, that was a carry-on film. Oh,
it was. Yeah, I mean, it's even aspects of it. When they were dubbing it, you can see the dubbing was done with a bit of tongue in cheek.
Yes. Yeah, they did quite a lot of it back then. It's like with the Magic Roundabout, which was actually French, and then they rewrote it. But the thing is, we were getting quite a lot of imports back then, weren't we?
Oh, we were. Yeah, I mean that's what I was saying. Like on a Saturday morning, we were watching the Mysterious Cities of Gold, which was Spanish. We were watching Champion of Wonder Horse, Casey Jones. They were all American. We were watching Aqualad, which was a cartoon, and it was Japanese. That was the one with big eyes. You could see it was Japanese. We were watching Skippy the Bush Kangaroo.
I can remember some of the theme tunes to those ones as well.
Yeah, and then you had the one. It was the Flashing Blade.
Yep. French.
Do you know what I mean? French. So we did have a lot in the there.
The White Horses, I think, was East European. Belle and Sebastian was, I think, French. There was a lot.
Although we did still have some good old-fashioned English stuff getting imported. Mary, Mungo, and Mitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you had good old Scottish stuff. Well, we did. We obviously had the greatest Scottish stuff, but we were passing it on out. So, but there was a lot of imports. And the thing is, they were great. We knew they were dubbed. But they weren't dubbed in such a way that they were dull.
Yes. Yeah.
So I've seen bad dubbing. I saw the original Flags of Our Father with the first attempt at dubbing. And subtitles. It wasn't dubbed. It was in subtitles.
Yeah, trying to read the subtitles as a right.
Oh, that was fun because the final one is there was a bit where the two guys are digging a trench, the two Japanese guys, and one of them says, "We've just been brought here to dig our own graves." Right?
No.
That's the line. It appears in the final version of the subtitles, but the original subtitles, somebody translated it literally word for word. This land that we have been brought to, we dig this hole that we will finally be buried in. That's what the subtitle said. So basically, they were effectively saying we got brought here to dig our own graves, but because it was in Japanese, somebody translated it word for word, and it just didn't work. So obviously, somebody didn't understand the English aspect of it, so they just translated it word for word, and it was hilarious. Some of the stuff I was reading on the very first one.
Anything like that, you can usually make out what a word-for-word translation means.
Yes,
but it's off because I mean the grammar is probably going to be different.
Yeah, it was the same as. Yeah, it was the same as White Men Can't Jump. They translated it into French, then they translated it back word for word, and it translates back as White Men Can't Get It Up.
Who was the two one is I remember they did a sketch,
Yeah.
and
You're not
it was
talking about the
translation.
L-O,
No,
L-O-1.
no. They translated. That's the only one I can remember. They translated English songs into something else. And the only one I can remember was Nana Musaka, because they took the piss out of Nana Muscuri.
Right.
Was Bye Bye Negro Lady. It was Bye Bye Blackbird translated to Bye Bye Negro Lady.
Yeah, I mean,
But
You
exactly,
didn't hear that from us, ladies and gentlemen.
the subtitles basically. I am glad that when we first got Monkey and
Yeah.
the water margins, that they were dubbed, and they were dubbed in such a way they were entertaining.
Yeah. I mean,
Because I think the story would have been a bit more serious if it was
Yeah.
actually translated based on what was being said, even though the acting was a wee bit over the top. Just a wee bit, not a lot, just a touch over the top.
Well,
You haven't noticed it at times, but it's just occasionally.
let's talk about the first episode, shall we? What we've seen is with Son Goku, aka Monkey, the Monkey King. You know, born from a mountain, you know, and then was given life and became Monkey. But he was what you call unstoppable in a way because he loved having punch ups everywhere.
Yeah, but the thing is, you think about the very first episode, Monkey is not the good guy in it.
I know.
No.
He was
Monkey is an ass.
I know. And the thing is, he was demanding to get into heaven, you know, and he ended up screwing them all over in the end.
Yeah,
Because he was uncontrollable.
But the
Basically, he demands to be given respect and then shows no respect to anybody else.
Yeah.
So basically, he was a left winger at the time.
Well, I mean, yeah, but then again, to be fair, my first thing was I was doing my Escape from the Planet of the Apes shout because they're saying monkeys king of the apes. No, apes and the monkeys are different species. Monkeys are not apes, but beside the point. But the thing is, but they take him, but they disrespect. They give him something. They give him the lowest position they can find, and let him think he's actually quite important. You know, they don't. Yeah, literally. But they give him. But I mean, I wonder how much. I mean, one of the things that I noticed particularly was these days would be very, very ironically said was that the a long time ago, a land that looked very much like China.
Yeah.
Because this predate, I suspect this actually. Well, actually, no, I'm not sure. May well predate the creation of China, but the time we said it. But the current, I thought, okay, you see that they treat these things, and the way they actually treat them, they did actually trick him as well.
Yes, they did.
Do you know the biggest problem they had was the guy who was advising the Jade Emperor, because he was the one says, just give him a title, bring him up, he'll be fine, give him a title, don't punish him, do this for him, do this, give him this, give him everything he wants, and he'll be better. And he gave him everything he wants, and he was worse.
I know.
So basically, the Monkey King was the original SJW.
And then they had to turn to Buddha, you know, just to, you know, trick him.
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure I've ever seen that first episode before, because a lot of things I didn't remember, although my memories are quite vague of it in the first place. But like when they said, I'm thinking those things. I'm thinking a lot of that could be made today, and it would actually be wokeism done good, because Buddha, compassion's needed here. Perhaps I should do this in my female aspect. I mean, then
the compassionate priest, the compassionate goddess
Mhm.
decides to roam the world in her male form.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is, of course, what I think. I mean, I knew generally because I got a little bit of knowledge of these things, not a lot, but that the figure that we call Buddha is not his name. Buddha is a title. Anybody can be a Buddha. It means enlightened one who's reached enlightenment.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly, Miranda. And the embarrassment when he realised you'd done that and she didn't actually mention it. Yes.
I must admit, I found that hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
So I did.
Especially when he came out with the line saying, "I thought Buddha was always a fella."
Yeah. Well, when you think about it, how many people, honestly, in the West would do that? Would immediately, you said Buddha, and immediately have a picture of a somewhat porky male, you know, the probable Buddha figures, because that's all. Forgive me, I'm almost certainly going to butcher this name, but Gautama Siddhartha, or Siddhartha Gautama, the man who actually became the Buddha, the enlightened one.
Yeah.
But I like that when it had several aspects of Buddha, which I thought was you know, that's the sort of thing that you could do these days, and it would. Hey Jim, look him over.
Hey Jim.
And it would actually be the sort of thing that certain wokey types will be pushing, but it's done well.
Yes.
It's because it's not done for that message. It's done because this is what we believe.
That's the difference. I think you got it right in the head. They didn't do it for a message. It's just that was part of the story. That's how the story was unfolding. They didn't actually deliberately put those in to change the story. They just played the story as it was. So the female aspect of Buddha, the male aspect of Quanlin, the compassionate one. So they were basically the male aspects. So he portrayed his male aspects. The Buddha wanted to portray the softer side, so she presented her female aspect. And nobody actually turns around and goes, "Oh," because it was done as part of the storytelling. Which, truthfully, if it was the male Buddha and he peed in his fingers, it would have been done more for laughs. Whereas you're peeing in the female Buddhas, it's done more for embarrassment.
Yeah.
And I think that's like wee silly bits like that. Whereas if it was a male Buddha, it would have been done for laughs. If it was a female, but it's no done deliberately, as in, we could pee over a guy and have a laugh. But if you pee over a woman, it's terrible. But it wasn't. It was just a case of if you did it in one, it would probably been more funny. Whereas you do it for the other one, it's more embarrassing. Same thing happened in both.
And with Son Goku's punishment, he was buried inside a mountain for what, 500 years?
500 years.
Yeah, with a seal on top of it, and they had to keep coming down to feed him sometimes, and he was really crying his eyes out, begging for mercy and to be let out. But he was serving his punishment until, there was the visit from I forgot what you named them, the female that became the male aspect.
Was that not Quinlan?
Yeah, because she was going from place to place to say about taking these scrolls to the journey to the west.
She was looking for the holy what was it? It wasn't the young holy man. It was the holy youth.
Yeah.
She was looking for the holy youth. That's why she was using the male aspect to travel the land or the world.
Well, think about it this way. You had two, I think it was one was a guard and I can't remember the other one. They were, sent down to Earth. I've got their actual names. I know one of them became a pig because of his lust.
It was basically the guard of the heavenly the heavenly host and the marshal
Yeah.
of the army of the English. So Sandy and Pigsy.
hmm
Uh-huh.
And
Well,
also you had the dragon,
Which became the horse.
That was a woman, but she helped Monkey because she gave him the power pole, which I think, and she was left as a dragon flying in the sky until she was freed, and then she lived in the water and had to wait until Monkey arrived.
She wasn't left. I know what you're saying, but she wasn't left. She was chained up by her father.
Yeah, punishment.
And basically, her tears were causing floods.
It's a very interesting mythology. I'll not say confuse me, but that if I was understanding it right, the Jade Emperor.
It did.
The Jade Emperor. I mean, because if you look at it, the whole thing is very, very much the way the Chinese court and society ran for a good couple of thousand years, basically pretty much until the communists came along.
Yeah.
But where you got because I wasn't quite certain. I mean, was the Jade Emperor the only god? I'm never quite sure there, but if the Jade Emperor and the others are deities, and yet they are deferring to
Buddha,
who, as I understand it, so even in that was a being who had reached an enlightenment and had therefore no more reincarnation, which is why that being has both a male and a female aspect. I mean, are they actually meant to? Are they? I genuinely don't know what
my understanding was that. Remember, they had to eat the fruit to prolong their life, become immortal, strong, whereas Buddha encompassed the universe.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
every other one of them had an aspect that they were in control of, whereas the Buddha encompassed the known universe or the unknown universe. Because you could never go beyond it because you were still in Buddha's hand. So that's what the difference was. It'd be like saying you've got a lot of different royalty, but you've still got the king or the queen in top. But you've still got all the royalty. It's just that the gods were just aspects. So the Jade Emperor was Odin, but you still had Buddha out with them.
Because they refer to some knowledge. They refer to them as, I don't know if that was just the translation, but they referred to them as spirits rather than deities of some sort. And the war was, or the main fighting there was between the apes. Monkey, and the spirits.
Yeah.
So so you got some odd going on there, and I did like the idea of the Jade Emperor's been woken up by the sounds coming from Earth.
Yeah, because he was having his end away with the.
That was superb. Okay, so he's discussing philosophy. Yeah, right. But
with his friend, it was even the fact that as I said, there would be aspects I would love to hear the original translation because he was visiting his friend to discuss philosophy, and it basically were implying the two of them are having their end away, and that's not necessarily his wife, because later on
she's definitely not
the Jade Empress was basically, remember, she was the one organising the party. Monkey wasn't invited.
But was that the Jade Empress wife or the Jade Empress mother? I thought he referred to her as his mother at one occasion.
It could have been, but the fact is they're talking about his friend. It was almost That's why I found it funny. I would have loved to know what it could have been the original ones where it wasn't tongue in cheek and nudge, nudge, wink, wink, look.
Yeah.
It could have been just a case of something else, and they've decided to put the story in there just for a bit of fun.
I mean, I think that the Chinese court has always been one of those ones where they've one of those courts where they've always acknowledged the concept of concubines, and a concubine is a very powerful position.
Mm-hmm.
The wives may decide to, and so on and so on. But I mean, what got me was even coming through. There's a scene early on where I think it's the first time that you actually meet. I've forgotten lady, not Vastavir or whatever they call her, the philosopher friend.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see the guy that he's going to become Pigsy. You see his face in that one scene, and it's quite clear that he's jealous of the Jade Emperor because the Jade Emperor's having his end away, and he fancies her as well. But you're never quite, and until later when he gets drunk, it's not quite sure if is it just that he disapproves of the Emperor doing this, or because he wants to marry the girl, or what? You don't know.
Yeah,
that's clearly written, and as I said, I mean, some of the acting comes through even through the dubbing, and I think that the dubbing, I think it was. Let's say the dubbing matched the action that was going on. How much it may have changed the original lines, we don't know. But
I don't think there have been too much.
No, I don't think
the way the Pigsy acted in his spirit form, he was basically still trying to touch and cuddle, and he was always seemed to be leering after the females. And then in his pig form, even when he was actually with Tripitaka, he's got all the clothes hanging and he's smelling it and stuff like that. So they're implying that it's the only way he can get close to women because he's got all these scarves and stuff like that, and he's smelling them.
Yeah,
and then there's a time when the girl who entices him by just laughing, and he just goes away running after her, chasing, and you could just see the look in his eye. So I don't think there was a lot of difference because the visuals implied that Pigsy was that type as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, I just want to bring up the character Pigsy. Is that in Dragon Ball there was a character named Oolong, and he was addicted to women's underwear because they actually portrayed the character very well. And the thing is, when they made a wish to the dragon, his wish was for a woman's underwear. So it just goes to show where they've taken the inspiration from.
Yeah, it's just Pigsy.
Yeah,
was a great character because you knew he was a creep, you knew he was thingy, but even when they were filming it, you could just see the look of disgust in everybody's face around him, but he still actually managed to get that sympathy from the audience because it was implying that he couldn't help himself, which we knew he was just a pig.
Yeah.
For better words, because hence the reason why he became a pig. And it basically, I think it actually put it down quite well, but it was played in such a way that it wasn't a despisable character. Yeah, I mean, I've watched the whole season. I've even watched the remake they did, which I wasn't as keen on. I only watched the first season, didn't realise there was a couple of seasons, but I'm going to watch that anyway. But the original, the Pigsy character wasn't dislikable, even though you knew why he was a pig. But it was very well done. The guy that acted it was so good at it. And I think that's the difference. Is if you've got someone who acts in such a way he just looks pathetic, you can actually get away with it without actually creeping people out.
Yep.
And I think he did very well. The dubbing didn't actually go amiss because it actually just made him sound like a pathetic git. But someone to be poked fun at rather than anything else. So
Yeah.
they all worked together, and I think it actually portrayed it very well. It was the funny part of it I found for both him and Sandy was he's going around, for want of a better word, molesting women.
Yeah,
Whereas Sandy's going around eating everybody.
that's true.
Yeah, they basically says, "Oh, it's not our fault. We got put in this situation. Please forgive us and let us back into heaven." Yeah, doesn't matter how many people I've eaten, but it wasn't my fault. He did it, and that's the only way I could survive. Yeah, I mean, and these are meant to be immortal beings, but they had to eat to survive.
That's true.
So
Yeah.
they're either immortal or they're not. They're either good spirits or they're not. Sandy always came across as someone with a bit of a conscience, but he ate people. So he would walk about with the big necklace with the wee skulls on it, and you're sitting there thinking, and he's the morals of the crew, of the three of them, not talking about Tripitaka.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, Miranda, I'm aware he's meant to have turned into a water monster, but what I'm saying is, even if you, that's like taking us and turning us into a water monster, and with still the same knowledge in our heads and everything, you would hope your personality continued the way it was. Getting turned into a water monster doesn't take me, but that's what I was saying. It was a contradiction. He basically still had the sort of, he was like almost the moral center of the three of the spirits, or the like Monkey, Sandy, and Pingsy. But he basically was a water monster who would eat people, and he had a load of bones around him. It's just I found it weird, but it wasn't bad weird. I just found it weird watching the juxtaposition of here's a good guy, a good spirit, and here's a water monster. Oh, by the way, they're the same thing. And that's the thing. It's just, even when I was watching it growing up, I was aware of the contradiction, and it never played into it to the point where you felt off.
Yes, true.
You watching something now where they're saying, "Oh, this person struggles," but they've just finished fighting 15 people who are 10 times the size of them, but they all beat them. But this person's got a lot of struggles. Well, no, those two contradictions are jarring. Whereas you've got the pig monster who can be lovable, and you've got the water monster who can have morals. But none of the two of them basically, it didn't jar.
Well, let's move on to what Monkey had. He had the magic cloud, right, to help him get around. I know, but in Dragon Ball they called it Nimbus. And you had the power pole. I can't remember the name of it, but it looked like a magic wand, didn't it? Because when they first presented it to him, they said it was like huge, but he had to like make it go to a smaller size, or actually, be simple for him to use.
Yeah.
And I just found it funny where he just went, and then it just got longer.
Yeah. I can't remember what it was called.
I'm trying to remember that.
Considering it's meant to be that heavy that nobody could lift it, but he can actually reduce its size and put it in his ear for storage.
Yep. I think it was something to do with the universe.
Well, it was supposed to have bashed the Milky Way into shape or something, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And as I said, it was not as heavy as the moon.
Yep.
So it was the hand of Omega. Although, of course, technically, I suppose the thing is they must have reduced both the size and the mass. Otherwise, he still wouldn't be able to pick it up. But let's not get technical on this.
Yeah.
It's
But
magic.
you also got what I forgot the name of it. What he's got on his head, because that wasn't in the first episode. It was to control him, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Make sure he don't go rogue.
Yeah, that's basically what it was. It was basically it contracted to give him headaches as when the chant was said. It was to help control him.
Yeah.
So it was. But
so all he needed to do was sneak up on Tripitaka and knock him out before he could actually say the trigger phrase, and he'd have been okay.
yeah, but no, he wouldn't have. That was the point of it. It's whoever knew the chant, and it could not have come off his head, so he still had it all the time.
Yeah, true.
Whereas if you take Tripitaka out, who would Buddha give the chant to next?
That's true.
Or would that person actually tell somebody else who would use Monkey to do his bidding? You see what I mean? So it wasn't just a case of they could knock Tripitaka out and he's fine, or kill Tripitaka and he's fine. Didn't want to piss off Buddha.
Yeah.
Because the last time he did that, he ended up under a mountain.
Yep. Which seemingly grew over those 500 years, because it starts off with just buried on a pile of rocks, and the next time you see him, he's he looks like he's in a very solid pillory, doesn't he?
This is a great comment. I still do the voices very badly, but I might add probability and politically incorrect. I can't pronounce that. Sorry, you really, Colin.
I still do the voices very badly, I might add, and probably politically incorrectly.
Nice one, Miranda.
Yeah, it's
most of it is political incorrectness.
Yes.
But who thinks about people telling you it's politically incorrect? They're just people who basically have got no concept. As I said before about stereotypes. The stereotypes are there for a reason.
That's right.
Back when political correctness was first becoming a thing that I was becoming aware of, I came up with a definition of it: being offended on behalf of other people who probably don't care.
Exactly. It's basically, there's been a lot of things, even when they were talking about political. I mean, had John Cleese and all that having a discussion about politically incorrect things in the 70s, 80s.
Yeah.
It's just a case of people were just getting offended for what? A joke.
And the point is, I mean, the important word there is not incorrect, it's politically.
Exactly. It's all politics. Exactly. Politically incorrect. And yet, it's only incorrect if it's done with malice.
Yeah.
Because if somebody goes, okay, the new big man and all that, I don't get offended at somebody's trying to take the piss out of the Scottish accent. I just laugh. But
I don't get it's not when we keep telling him I'm from 1356 when he knows I'm from 1346. Yes, exactly. I mean, yeah, similar. Exactly. You know, when someone's doing something as either as a joke or as a ribbing familiarity.
Yeah, you look at the Roman when he'll still take the piss occasionally on his channel. He'll do the speaking incoherently as PJ Maybe. But I find it endearing. But it's one of those things. It's you look at Monkey, you try and Right, the remake was 2008, I think, or 2002. Was it 2002 or 2008? The remake. You imagine trying to remake Monkey now, even as close to the story as it was that we originally grew up with.
Wouldn't go
So
down very well.
you've got the female Buddha, you've got the male Quan Lin, you've got the female portraying Tripitaka, the male, and the
Mhm.
boisterous, the three types of male. You've got the pig monster,
Yeah.
who's always after women. You've got the aggressive monkey, who's always after a fight, and then Sandy. Where does he sit in? He's meant to be the moral center of the three. So you've got the three aspects of malehood.
The question is, can you actually get a real life monkey to act? Can you actually get a pig to act? You know, because they're talking about
Well, these days,
representation. All that,
exactly. These days,
Remember, representation only matters when it matters to them. The rest of the time, it doesn't matter.
No, you got it wrong there, Alex. What you need is you would have to have a real pig monster who had been kicked out of heaven, a real monkey king, and a real sea monster overchanged human who had been kicked out of heaven.
So we're going to get them from.
I've got 4 of them in my cupboard.
Yeah. This is the reason it only goes on, as I said recently. You know, I mean, if I understand the arguments correctly, I hope Tatiana Maslany is on suitable medication for the radiation poisoning she got when she turned into She-Hulk, because obviously only a real attorney who turns into a big green monster can play She-Hulk.
Yep. So back to the TV series.
Right. I was going to say something. Miranda, the remade Monkey, I think it was 2 seasons they did. I only seen the first season. It nowhere near as good. It's not as if it's bad, but compared to Monkey, it's not good.
There have been several. I think there have been several remakes of Monkey Stroke Journey to the West.
Yeah, there's been different interpretations. Remakes. This was an actual remake of Monkey. That's why we're talking.
There was also one in 2002 where the final 13 episodes, which had never been translated,
that was series 2 of this.
2002.
Yeah, that was the Monkey.
Because this was originally 26 episodes, but they changed it into 3 series of. Apparently, they changed it into 3 series, and the 13 episodes was the second half. That was never actually done.
The only other one I said it was 39 episodes. Was it season 1 or 2? The original Monkey was 39 episodes. They didn't do it in seasons, but the new Legends of Monkey, I think 2002, was 2 seasons.
Yeah. Well, apparently it was in Japan. It was transmitted as 2 26 episode seasons, for a total of 52 episodes.
Right, I've only got 39 of them. That's the only 39 I've ever seen.
No, I'm confused because it's what I'm reading from IMDb. It says changed to 3 series of 13 when transmitted in the UK, which means that 39. They must. Yeah, it makes 39. So they must have pushed some episodes together somehow, split the episodes up. But the final 13 episodes, the second half of season 2, were never translated into English until Fabulous Films released them for DVD release in 2002. So apparently that's what happened, and we never got the end ones.
Yeah. Well, I only ever remember the 39. So, and Amanda, I would definitely just stick with the one. I did see the first season of the new one, and I wasn't impressed. It wasn't bad, but it just wasn't as good.
Ah, no,
And
hold
I
on.
never
Sorry.
even watched season 2, but I've got it just to see how it goes.
Sorry. No, I've just my math head's just kicked in.
Yeah.
39 episodes is 1.5 seasons. So the 39 episodes you've seen are the 39 episodes that were translated into English originally. The final 13 episodes was the second half. That takes it up to 52. Because you've got you got 1.5 seasons, 26 episodes were translated. One half season, which is 13 episodes, weren't translated. That's where it comes from. So
Well, I've got the list. What is episode 40 called? Well, let's see. What was episode 39 called?
well, the problem I think I've got is that when I had these ones, they're in.
No. On IMDb.
That's what I'm doing. Yeah, I'm looking. They're in. I couldn't tell you because I can't read Japanese. Oh, sorry, hold on. No, wait. Right. So season 2, episode 13 is called "The Fountain of Youth."
Right. Wait a minute. The Fountain of Youth. Season 2, episode 13. So that would have been episode 39.
Yeah.
I've got at the top of the mountain.
Hold on. I'm just letting you look down here because some of the titles are in Japanese. So, let's say 14 is in Japanese. 50 Kijo Yokai Nara Tawa Shinkon Fufu. This is where we need grey on.
Right.
No, that's interesting. At the top of the mountain is season 2, episode 26. So
At the top of the mountain.
oh no! Wait, hold on. Yet, sorry, I'm just looking. The dates on this is weird. Right? No.
Yeah, 1980. See, you've got the ones where like Monkey's Yearning, episode 25, was done in 2004.
Yeah. So obviously, they're not in the same order. Hi, Melvin. By the way, yes, they would apparently that.
I think I know what's happened.
They're not in the same order.
The date on them, so you've got some in 1981, some in 2004, and some in 1985.
Yeah.
So I think what the 1980s as well.
Yeah.
I
reckon what's happened I would imagine 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Right, because I'm looking at what I've got. So Monkey Goes Wild About Heaven is the same in both. Right.
I reckon I've got 13 of those as shown as 2004. So I reckon the 13 that IMDb have got, even though they're out of secret, I reckon what you've got is the 1980s ones are the ones that were originally released. And then the 13 that are dated as 2004, those I reckon are the ones that weren't originally translated.
Yeah.
Because you've got the last. So you've got the last one at the top of the mountain is the last, would appear to be the last one in that season. And that is actually was translated. But you've got 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, well,
before that one that apparently weren't.
Well, in season 2, as you said, the one that's marked as all season 1 is the first 26 episodes.
Yeah.
Season 2, it starts with accordingly. Episode 27 was Pigsy's 10,000 Ladies, and I'm assuming episode 1 of season 2, which is dated 1981 January, but it's in Japanese.
Yeah.
So Monkey, Pigsy, and Sandy become disillusioned with the pilgrimage and go their separate ways. Tripitaka it continues his journey when lightning strikes the horse and it turns into a human. But that doesn't sound like Pigsy's 10,000 Ladies.
Right. It's the second one on that one, The Dogs of Death, because that is
Yeah,
also a
it's
1981.
both of them. So that's what I'm saying. So I think what you're right is all the ones they did, they're basically kept that way.
Yeah, because there's a few 1980 ones which have got no, which have got the last have got no no description.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's saying a lot of them are actually in Japanese. We need a Japanese speaker to tell us what those ones actually mean. And then, of course, they might not be. I mean, there's no guarantee that the translation into English is the same.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, Mel, what we? I
was just reading the storyline.
Yeah.
And the storyline is basically them all separating. I don't know where that would come down with Pigsy's 10,000 Ladies. With them all separating, and it seems to be about the horse turning into a human.
Yeah. Melvin, I think we're looking at. I don't know if you caught the bit we were saying earlier on. Apparently, what happened was there were 13 episodes from IMDb shows up as season 2 were not translated into English until 2004 and 2002. So what we're thinking is that, as you say, that's air date rather than production date, as in the English airing. So we're thinking that the ones that are dated 2004 are probably the 13 that were not originally translated in the 1980s.
I think so as well. Because I'm looking at the ones that are 2004 and none of them are appearing on the list.
Yeah.
And then, but some of the ones that are appearing on the list, as you said, haven't been translated properly, as in it's still got Japanese name.
Yeah.
So some of them have got some of the 2004 have, but it's just one of those ones. I think it's going to come down to having to go through it because, like as I said, number 38 is called Mothers. Yet here it's called Monkey's Yearning, which could be the same thing. Yeah, I mean, so Monkey's Yearning and Mothers.
Yeah, but Monkey's Yearning, that's a 2004 one, so that's probably one that's not on your.
That's true. So let's see.
So what did you say that one was? Let's see if I can.
Number 38 was called Mothers.
No,
so
I was going to say the one. Hold on.
But that's the thing. It could be one of the ones that's in Japanese with a Japanese name and no synopsis.
So what did you say that the one was called? Pigsy's
10,000 Ladies.
See if that's gonna. Oh, you git! No, I don't want in Japanese freaking script. I want in Japanese but English bloody script. So I'm pulling up on the Google translators. But unfortunately, the one I got up there is actually showing in English rather than no, not what. Hold on. Okay, hold on. Sorry. That's it. I was just wondering if we get one of these ones.
Yeah.
No, English here to Japanese. Right, so.
And Melvin, I know they were talking about when it says 2004, we think it's actually not only the air date, it was the translation air date.
No Josai.
No, I'm just saying to Melvin, basically the 2004 dates we're talking about are all part of the same one. So you've got ones that are saying 1981, some are saying 1985, and some are saying 2004 on the same series. However, we think it's the bit when they translated it and aired it in.
Yeah.
We are aware of that. That's what we're talking about.
Hold on. Let's do this the other way around.
Mm-hmm. I suppose it's not that important. It's just that we know there's some that haven't been translated, and we'll need to find out if they've actually, when they were done, and if we can get a hold of them, because they'll not, the translation 2004
No, you
will not be as
stupid
good.
machine.
Stop arguing with your computer, you.
No, I don't.
But
Copied the link.
I think the thing is, I would like to see the ones that were done in 2004.
Apparently, season 1 translates as a fresh start on the road of Tenjiku paintings.
Right, so nothing to do with any of the names, but that's what I'm saying. Well, it's one of those ones we'll need to get somebody who can speak Japanese to translate it.
Where's
understanding of it?
Yeah, so where's Gray when we need him? He lives in Japanish. We've got to do it. Where's Makizaki's tea house?
Yep. So what we need to do is actually just leave it there. But so what's the next topic on Monkey? Instead of actually worrying about how many we've missed.
Well, what about the opening theme tune? You know, the way it was very catchy for its time.
It was translated. It was basically broadcast in both Japanese and English, so it had been done by the people who made it. So the translation was done.
The closing titles are in Japanese. The opening ones are in English, and the closing ones is Japanese.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is the opening music was, when it was written, it was translated, so it was done by the same people who produced Monkey. So they did that translation because obviously it was planned to also be sold overseas. Before the dubbing and all that was done, the song wasn't written for the European market. It was done at the same time, so it was two versions of it, one in Japanese, one in English, but it was the same.
Exactly. It's just like it is extremely, it is very catchy.
Oh, it's very even a long time ago.
I can bring up the name of the band. It was called God Ego, who actually called it the song Monkey Magic, and they did a few other songs in it.
I'll tell you what I've just noticed is interesting.
Yeah.
But with that's all right. Miriam Margolyes is credited as doing all 52 episodes. So's Andrew Sachs. So's Peter Woodthorpe. So's David Collins. So it looks as if when they did the translated the last 13 episodes, they got the same voice people back. Unless maybe they'd done the translation and translation was never released. I don't know. But they've got all the English actors who presumably did the translations are the same as showing. Showing there's 52 episodes, but 1978 to 80, which is slightly confusing.
Well, all I can say is that must have been one hell of a dubbing room with Mary Margolyes.
Yeah.
Do you know they actually changed Pigsy?
Yes, I know.
Yeah, I remember it looking weird because to me, I was just somebody different.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that was just weird.
Just think about it, right? With a British cast, also you had Burt Kwok in it. I don't know who he voiced. But it just goes to show is that they had a huge talent.
Yeah.
It's
well,
like
they did have a huge talent, and Miriam Marigold as well.
Yeah. It's like with I'm going to change the topic here. The Godzilla movies, when they were translated into English, you did have George Takei dubbing one of the Godzilla films.
Did you?
Yeah. He didn't go "oh my" in it, but you know, it was just like spot.
Oh
spot the
my!
voice. Oh my! It was like trying to spot the voices in a way. So, this was what we.
Yeah, I've seen the Forbidden Kingdom. It is a really good one.
I haven't
That
yet.
is one of it is billed as one of the first time Jet and Jackie fight, because it's the first time the two of them have been in a movie, a build movie as the two of them fighting against each other. Because I don't think they actually appeared. They may have appeared as stunt doubles or stunt men in early careers, but
Yeah.
that was the Forbidden Kingdom. That was the one where you had the guy who was an American got thrown back in time because of the staff, and these the Jackie Chan and Jet Li train him, and Jet Li is the Monkey King and one of the Monkey King's doubles, as it were.
Wow.
So he's not. The Monkey King is actually encased in stone. It's a statue, not
Well,
encased in stone.
he's described as a stone monkey anyway, isn't he?
Yeah, but he was encased in stone in the thing, mate. And Jet Li was just one of the hairs that managed to. It had the essence of monkey, the Monkey King. So he played in with Jackie Chan. It was the first time the two of them fought against each other. But it was a good movie. I quite enjoyed that. So it was.
Well, Miranda said Monkey is on BritBox and it's on ITVX also. And probably other streaming services.
Yeah. So, Julie, there you go. Monkeys on BritBox.
Give it a watch.
Give it a watch. It is, if you're looking for high thought out movie, a TV show, no. If you're looking for good, fun martial arts ish, I would say martial art ish, because we're spoiled with modern martial art movies and stuff like that. Whereas, yeah, you can see how this is old choreography style, as in it from a distance it looks great, but close up you can see them missing each other by miles. But that's because we're used to it nowadays, because it's more of a dance, and they do. So
and apparently it's on Blu-ray also. If anyone wants it on physical media and DVD, so
I'm going to get that and the water margins eventually. It's just that what was the cost of the DVD?
The DVD, DVD is £57.
Yeah, that's why.
And the Blu-ray is 75, but this is like got extras on it.
Yeah, but that's why I've never got the DVD, because 50 quid for it's not even a box set, it's a DVD 20. I think it only had the 39. I don't know if it's got the other 13 now, but 60 quid for a season or two.
It did come out in October 2020.
So it will not have the 39 episodes. So,
and the water margin, the complete series, is £43,
which is a lot better for 2 seasons.
That came out in 2016, fully restored.
I think the other two I'm never going to find them in a charity shop. Never going to find them in a charity shop.
It would be great if you did.
Oh God, I'd be over the moon. But it's something that I would love to get my hands on, and eventually I will. But maybe it's a Christmas present to myself or a birthday present to myself in a year or two down the line. Maybe get it when I turn 60. When I were a lad, I've only got 2 years to go, so don't somebody say 60. That's ages away. It's only 2 years.
Well,
Mind you, only yesterday I was 50, so I don't know what happened.
well, the one thing is, I would love to see the stage version of Monkey, like actually, because they do stage versions all the
All
time.
right.
I would say Journey to the West.
It's usually what is it, Kabuki theatre,
Mhm.
and I've seen one in Kabuki theatre, not on TV. It was something. It was actually about the Kabuki theatre, and they were doing the Monkey, and it was the Journey to the West. So they were talking about it and then showing you it as they were filming it. So it was all about the Chinese school preparing for a Kabuki theatre production.
Yep.
And I've seen that. And that was actually really interesting because Kabuki theatre is over the top. And you think this is over the top, just wait till you see a Kabuki theatre of it.
Mm.
So, yeah.
Well, all I can say is that with this, it's a timeless classic. It will still be up there, you know, compared to all the remakes and all this that as the one-time greatest true Monkey King TV series. And you know, how can I put this? I will give this a watch all the way through. When I get
Oh,
the
yeah.
chance.
I would definitely recommend it. If you see once you've finished this, check out the water margins.
No, I'll try and find out and all.
The water margins isn't as fun, and the dubbing can be a bit off at times,
Yeah. Mhm.
but the story is good. So it is. It is definitely Monkey is more fun. The water margins is a bit more serious,
Yeah.
but it is still along the similar lines. It's Chinese myths and legends.
And I was just going to bring up, with most of the translation they came out with, it would have gone over the kids' heads, wouldn't it?
To an extent, yes. Because
Back in the
if you were watching it as a kid, then the pig
Mhm.
monster was just funny. He would get slapped by girls. He would be going whoo, and then he would get slapped. Whereas more adult audience would be sitting there going, "Oh, the deviant, the pervert,"
Yeah.
but still having a laugh and joke because he's constantly getting chastised and slapped. So yes,
Teached him a lesson.
Yeah.
it had 2 levels to it. So it did.
Well, I've got to say, with this, and also, we've got to also mention, like, Hong Kong cinema quickly, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Because the amount of, like, films that were coming out, especially with the late, great Bruce Lee, and the amount of translations they had to do, well, dubbing for them. And sometimes you didn't see, like, the math movement match up with the dub.
Oh God, Christ Almighty! They did how bad it was in Police Academy.
I know,
Yeah.
I know.
Remember? Yes. Yeah, I mean, it's stuff like that. He would the mouth would be going, and then he would say yes with the mouth movement. But then again, see, the thing is, I grew up watching dubbed, and I've still got a load of them, Chinese martial arts movies. So I have, and it's fun because the only thing it actually matches is usually the hits with the 2 blocks of wood going clunk, 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 clunk as they're meant to be hitting each other.
Especially, there's one film that I did enjoy. I don't know if you remember it, PJ, but Colin probably won't. Is Kung Pao Into the Fist, where they went one step further.
Yeah, and made it quite farcical.
Yeah.
It was fun. It was a funny, come on.
Especially with the cow.
Mm-hmm. But, yeah, it was almost the same as Christ, what was it? Kentucky Fried movie.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see that? And they had to enter the dragon.
No, I haven't seen that scene, but I will find it.
It's basically they do the bit, and it's the fit. He goes, he's doing the Bruce Lee part. Like you see him sneaking down the lane, and the girl's actually there's the bit in the Enter the Dragon, whereas the girl is actually saying to him, he's in and he goes to ask her a question, and she points to a very small mic and goes, and that's it. Well, in this one, she points to a very small mic, and then she turns around and points to this big standing microphone hidden behind a branch, and then she turns around and then there's this mic, it keeps dropping down to listen to him. Then in the corner there's a guy sitting there with a headphone and a microphone, and then she points to behind the mirror, and there's two guys with it following them. It's a full farcical version of it. And the bit where Bruce Lee goes up to the guy and goes, "Hit me," and the guy goes to hit him, and Bruce Lee goes, "What was that?" Well, he goes, "Hit me." He goes, and the guy hits him, and he goes, "What was that?" They try again, and the guy goes, "Oh," and he goes, "Oh, very good." So basically, yeah, they take the piss out of it. If I find it, I'll let you know where it is. I'm sure it's the Kentucky Fried Movie. Taking the piss out. It's
on my list to watch at some point.
Yeah, the Kentucky Fried Movie. There's some fun bits in it, but even remember the Kentucky Fried Movie where they had the bit. It was about the. Oh no, it wasn't. That was Schlock. That was a different movie completely. But it was those type of humour. So it was taking a movie, and it was almost like doing Spaceballs.
Yeah.
It's this Kentucky Fried Movie version of the Enter the Dragon is imagine Spaceballs compared to Star Wars. And that's what it was. It was fun. And it was just taking the mickey out of everything. It was just taking the takes extreme.
Well, the thing you think that there's always, isn't there? I don't know. I don't know if argument's the right phrase, but do you prefer your foreign language films dubbed or subtitled? Because dubbed, as you say, Alex, you can see the mouth movements never match up.
Yeah.
But if it's subtitled, you've got the subtitles down the bottom of the screen taking you out. You know?
It depends on the movie. It depends. If I'm watching an action movie, I like it dubbed because I'm more interested in the action. And if I'm reading when they're talking, I miss bits and pieces. So I do. However, like RRR, for instance, you need to watch that with subtitles. Because, you're reading it, but you're hearing all the really good emotions from the characters. So you need to hear that. Whereas if it's dubbed, you miss bits and pieces like that. So it depends on the movie. If you're watching an action movie, dubbed is fine. But if you're watching one that's got a good story to it and you need to hear the emotions of the characters, dubbing doesn't come across very well, and I think you need to actually subtitles.
Yeah, there's one advantage I think where, or at least until recently, the technology-wise, animated movies, because it was animated. You can. It's so easy because the mouth movements don't match up with what's being said. And you don't expect them to because it's an animated movie. It's so it's like I mean, people have been saying with one of the things that people have been saying with recent live action remakes of Disney and other is that kids don't like them because if it's a cartoon, you can see it. But when it's actually a real, it's CGI. Well, when we say live action, we mean CGI. Then it looks real. If it looks realistic, then that takes you out of it. When you see something happening to animals, or I mean, I've never seen the live action Beauty and the Beast, but I would imagine that live action singing teapots must be a bit confusing.
Good point.
But the best one I ever heard about what they classed as live action was when they first brought back The Lion King.
Oh yeah,
They
live action. What,
basically they advertised that as live action
yeah.
until somebody pointed out that it's CGI.
Yeah.
There's no real lines in it. They're not like real lines, and then like what they used to do. Remember, they used to they would have a horse and they would have the mouth animated. So they would somebody been animating it
Yeah.
even as the horse is moving around, as if it's
Well,
speaking.
at least they haven't CGI'd Bambi yet. That's the main thing.
Oh no, Bambi meets Godzilla was good.
I was going
Yeah.
to say, yeah, I saw that. I saw, oddly enough, was it Friday Night Tonight showed that, and then
It did. Uh-huh.
and then someone else memed it on one of the Discords I follow. Yeah, it's hilarious.
Yeah, it's just very
Just
slow and
wait,
suddenly.
just wait. Yeah.
Hey, also
The
dark.
live action one of 101 Dalmatians with Meryl Streep was absolute. Did not like that at all.
So, are you saying Meryl Streep's got is a dog in her old age, or you just
No,
she's a
I'm
bitch?
saying she was Cruella. Cruella, the
Oh,
Yeah.
Deville, and she looked the part, but the two characters they had as her henchmen weren't as bungling as the cartoon versions.
I
Mhm.
thought,
But they
I
were
thought
meant
Cru-
to be,
I
but
thought
they were
Cruella
they
was a-
just came across as farcical.
But I thought Cruella was a goodie now.
That is the more recent
Is she
one.
now a misunderstood villain?
Yeah, that's the more recent one. But they did a live action
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
Yeah, I know they did.
one a long time ago, and they kept it as close to it. Cruella Deville looked like Cruella Deville.
Mm.
The two henchmen acted bumbling, but because it was live action, it wasn't as farcical.
Yeah.
Or it was more farcical, sorry, where it was comic with the two henchmen in the cartoon. When they were trying to do that, it just was farcical and it just didn't seem right.
I think saying that I've got a feeling that one of the versions of Monkey that I came across, I've seen it, was cartoon. But I think because this sort of thing is probably
it's been done. It's done and done and done.
Yeah, I mean, because this sort of story is
As long as
probably
they don't rewrite it.
yeah, but yeah, it's probably the sort of thing which would do equally well, isn't it? Because
Yeah.
I mean, obviously the animation and the style of animation, but something like Monkey, because a lot of it is fantastical.
Yes.
I mean, you sort of look at, I mean, you sort of see some of the early scenes in the start of the first episode, and I'm thinking, hold on a second, 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Ah.
But just because of the style of the makeup and the costumes and the rest of it are not up to the standard of today, shall we say? I don't want to put it down, but so it's not like fantastical like this would probably be equally doable, equally believable as some sort of CGI.
Yep.
Because the fantastic elements would come over perhaps even better these days.
And another great thing is they haven't remastered it like they did with the remastered Red Dwarf version.
Right. You want to see how
Just
bad
adding
they're right?
more
Do you want to see how different? This is just a resetting of the 2004 version of Monkey was.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I've just put it into share, and it's only a wee clip. I've turned the sound off, and I'll clip it backwards. So you want to put that up?
Okay, I thought you had access controls.
No.
All right.
No. Right. So this is Monkey popping in. This is Monkey. Right. That's just one of the demons, and that's
What's Henry Cavill doing in this?
That's Trippy Taka.
Yeah.
And that's Monkey.
Oh my god!
Do you know how you know it's Monkey? Do you know how you know it's Monkey? Because he's got a band on his head.
Yeah.
What else makes that look like Monkey apart from the yellow scarf in the band? Where's the red outfit?
Yeah.
It's just as you can see, it was just done.
And the thing is, he's coming in like all powerful and all this and that. You know, like look at me.
Yeah, it was meant to.
Yeah.
Basically, the demon was terrorizing Tripitaka, and he, just before that scene, he comes. Wait, so I'll show you what I mean. Right, so the demons terrorizing Tripitaka, right, about to actually do some damage, and the Monkey King enters. Yeah, I mean, so there was good bits like that where you see it boom, coming down, and then I'm stepping out. But when he steps out, it could be any TV show. You could be watching The Witcher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just looks so serious. That's the problem.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That's why I said it wasn't as good. It was okay, but as Monkey, it is.
Yeah, I mean
Monkey.
that sort of thing only works if you say, okay, so the character, although the character is a monkey spirit, and actually can actually assume human form. In that case, that's okay. You can do it because obviously that, for example, it saves on makeup and special effects. But yeah, exactly. I mean, monkey is supposed to be a monkey. Exactly. Yeah, it's a monkey. Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it just it was too tidy.
Yeah.
The monkey didn't look like a monkey spirit. It just looked like a guy who could fight.
It could have been
the pixie spirit didn't look like a pig. It just looked like a guy, maybe with a wee bit pointy ears and a wee bit broader nose. Sandy, same idea. They just didn't come across as that. It was just.
Take care, Grandma Miranda. Have a great night.
She's been listening to us. No wonder she's getting a headache.
Who made the 2004 one then, PJ?
I don't know. I need to actually check.
It didn't look particularly. Didn't look massively Asian to me, but I could be wrong.
The New Legend of Monkey. That's another one. That can't be it. 2018? I thought it was 2004. I'll need to double check, see if that's the same one.
Hold on, I can have a look myself. No.
Yeah, that's the same one. 2018. It was the 2004.
Oh wow.
I was sure it was 2004.
I must admit, I'm a little bit worried about what IMDb saying when you put in the word monkey, and the first two entries that come up are Evangeline Lilly and Elijah Wood.
Yeah, production company Seesaw Films, Jump Film and Television, filming locations New Zealand, release date the UK, countries of origin Australia, New Zealand.
Right, yeah, thought so. Yeah, so that didn't look particularly.
They try to have their own crack at it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you've got. Yeah, there's one this year. There's a Monkey King this year, 2023 Monkey King.
Yeah.
We won't go with the 1994 one because I suspect that's something other than that sort of monkey. On the grounds it involves.
Yeah, I was just sure it was a 2004 one. I don't know why I was getting that.
Well, anyway, shall we start wrapping up now?
Yeah.
2022.
All right. All I can say is that I will give this a watch, and for anyone out there in the chat, and also to more viewers watching, give it a watch. You'll find it online somewhere. Just watch it. Sit back and have a laugh. Don't care about, it's too controversial and this that. Just enjoy the story. Just enjoy the laugh, especially the way the Monkey King's, is trying to piss off everybody in heaven, and don't take offense that he pisses up a woman's finger. Just have a laugh.
And if you find yourself waving your fingers in front of your hand while you're trying to silently whistle to blow up a cloud,
Yeah.
you've obviously watched it too much.
Right.
Or singing the theme tune.
And see, the one thing I think you need to actually see it's Sand in the new one. Sandy is female.
Take care, Wendy.
So it says Sandy's female,
Yeah.
and you can tell it is an adaptation of. And I would definitely stick. As I've said before, there you go. That's what they look like. It's just
Anyway, PJ, what have you got coming up for us?
not a lot. I'm at literally my Saturday stream as normal. Then I'm still getting a lot of exercise in my PJ Maybe Old channel. 10 subs and climbing.
Good.
Doing my metal detecting. But no, I've been too busy to do anything. So I've been busy trying to actually get healthy.
Well,
we should have Castle and Crusades this weekend, shouldn't we?
We should have. I thought it was Friday there, and I'd actually planned for it. Then I realised that it was actually last weekend was wrong. So it's this weekend. That is just a quick look at the Netflix series for that is Sandy, which is the female. Pigsy is the guy in the middle, and Tripitaka is at
Wait
the
a minute.
end.
Are you sure that's not Lord of the Wheel of Time of the Rings?
Yeah, I was actually thinking that was actually Perrin Albara from
it could be.
Yeah, but the thing is, although that's 2008 and they changed Sandy, it wasn't that jarring. It wasn't. It was just basically the water monster Pigsy you couldn't change, but they made him less of a female annoyer and actually made him more porky, as in big and fattish, and that's what it was less. So they changed.
At least they've still got Tripitaka played by a woman.
Yes,
although with the bald, with shaved head rather than a what's it?
And that's Monkey.
Well, this is Netflix.
Yes,
it's trying to do a Heaven Cavill impression.
Yes, but it's not as bad. I remember the first season; it wasn't as bad. So finishing off there, that's all I wanted to show. I'd been mentioning how it's not as good. You can see it's a complete adaptation, but I would stick to the original anytime.
Right. Well, everyone, I'm about to activate the ending, so we're about to quickly end this. Right, so let's see. I hope you all can hear that. But anyway, from me, Colin, and PJ, FFSI will return next week with just me and Colin talking about the Hunger Games, because I've nearly finished it now, haven't I, Colin?
You have.
And I'm glad I'm actually on holiday next week. I don't need to listen to it.
But as you can hear in the background, whoever's singing along to this, knock yourselves out. But I've got to say, you got to have fun with this song, haven't you?
Yeah, and if they actually get catchy, then you can just cut the last 2 seconds out.
Not with me, you just ho-ho's a bit of a pain in the neck. So, as I'm watching the countdown timer and we're trying to figure out what to say to end it all. So everybody in the chat and the panel and everyone also watching the catch up, thank you very much. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Also, you'll find PJ on his channel.
PJ Maybe One.
Yeah, link will be in the description once we Colin to remember to type it. So everybody, have a great night, have a great week, and catch you next Monday. Enjoy.
Or Saturday.
Ow.